How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a sort of review slash opinion on the irons I bought about, I think it's about a year and 3 months ago now. I think it was July. Well, I bought them a lot earlier than that, but they took a long time to come through. So yeah, I've been using them for just over a year now, and I just thought I'd give you my opinion or my feedback from using those irons over the year. My handicap's come down considerably since using them compared to my old clubs, so for me they're definitely worth the money. So yeah, just wanted to go over some of the pros, the cons, and just generally what I think about them. So yeah, enjoy the video. I hope it's useful. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is the feel of them. I've got my 7 iron here. What I mean by feel is just generally what do they like to hit, how do they feel when you thin one or hit it half the face, because compared to my old clubs, I know when I thin those or hit them half the face, you can really feel it. I find with these, I don't really, there's not a huge amount of pain as you normally associate with thinning it, even when you can really feel it and you can tell how hard the face it's come off as soon as you hit the ball. So for me, that's really useful because I can pick out in my stance if I did something wrong that swing. But yeah, there isn't really much in the way of pain as such. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but yeah, I mean, when you hit out the middle, it feels amazing. Even when you don't, it doesn't feel horrendous. And they still are quite forgiving. I think most of the times when you play a bad shot, it's the way you swung, you've hooked it or draw it, or sliced it, sorry. So that's more of a play into your end result rather than the fact you've mishit it. And even when I do thin it, it still goes miles, so still ends up where I want it to. What I'd say off the grooves, spin wise, I probably don't get as much spin as I used to on my old irons, but they were I think they were like quad rip speed, so they had a lot of spin on them. So I noticed the one thing I'm not getting as much off is spin on the greens, but for me, I've got more control over my distances now, so that's not a big of an issue. So yeah, overall feels good, and yeah, I like the feel. They're nice clubs to hit, and they feel great when you do hit it right. Next thing we're going to go over is the look, and by look I mean design and also like wearability and like how well they've done over a year. Look wise, I mean, they're beautiful, especially because they're forged irons as well, so they're all one piece, and they look absolutely amazing. I don't know if you can see that, can't really see it from the camera, but they're beautiful, so nice. I did a view of when I first got them with some close-ups, so I'll link that up there or up there. But it was one of the main reasons why I bought them, because they just look stunning. I've got to be honest, I haven't looked after them that well. I don't have any head covers for them, and they're constantly rattling around in the back of my car. Even when I'm playing, they're smashing into each other. And I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but there's quite a lot of little bits of damage on them. It feels like the metal is quite soft, so they're easily damaged. Especially when you're playing shots out the bunker as well. But I think that's the same with most clubs, to be honest. So I wouldn't say they're any more worn than any other clubs. The face as well has got quite a bit of wear on it. I don't know if you can see that. There's some bits on there as well. Yeah, other than that, I love them. They've got nice grips as well, which are the standard grips. So yeah, overall look, 10 out of 10. So now we're on to the pros and cons. I'll start with the cons because there's not really too many. Cons, I'd say if you are a mid to high handicapper, say, well, I mean, when I got these, I was playing off 12 or 13, and now I play off 8.6 roughly. So it's come down considerably. It has helped my game. They're not going to be for everyone because they are, in comparison to most clubs people have when they're mid-handicap, there's not a lot of weight in the club, there's not a lot of forgiveness, so you do have to consistently hit the ball well. So I'd say that's one of the cons, is that they're not for everyone. So even if you do like the look of them, doesn't mean you're going to be able to hit them. But again, well, like I did in one of my videos, go to American Golf and hit a few irons, because you might be surprised that you can probably hit most irons that are quite expensive and you probably shouldn't be able to hit, but it's worth doing it anyway because it's completely free. I did it when I bought these, got fitted for them. It's probably one of the best lessons I've had in my life, if I'm honest, so don't regret that day at all. Any other cons, sorry. Other con I'd say is probably the price, which I'll come on to in a bit. They're not cheap, as are most clubs of this level, and they're all just under £1 or so they're quite expensive. But for me, it was worth the money, so don't regret spending that much money at all. Pros look amazing. They've improved my game quite considerably. They're very reliable. I can feel comfortable playing any shot. As you've probably seen if you've been watching my videos, I'm much more confident now playing stingers, low draws, low hooks, all those other shots I would never even think of playing. So it's kind of forced me to improve my game, and I think I'm a lot more consistent with them. Generally off the tee, par threes, they're just great clubs to hit, to be honest. Going back to cons quickly, thought just popped into my head. When you get up to the lower irons, like the 4-iron, I'll actually go and get it and show you. I don't know how well you can see this, but it's incredibly thin. If I show you from this angle, can't really see that, but it's so thin and it's very intimidating when you're standing behind the ball, looking at the ball down the shaft with that at the end of it. The ball looks humongous compared to the end of the club head, and it's probably the scariest club to hit by far because it goes a long way, and if you get it wrong, it goes really badly wrong. But it's great to hit off the tee. Another con is the steel shaft cover has been peeling away. I don't know if you can see that, but I did message them about it and they said it was nothing to worry about. So if the head randomly flies off one video from my 4-iron, that's why. Other pros, that's probably about it. What I'd say is if you're looking at buying clubs, I think the main point of this video was to give my opinion of the clubs rather than someone who's a professional and can hit any clubs and is just going based off the performance and all the gibberish that comes with buying drivers, buying irons, all the technology they say. At the end of the day, it's a bit of metal on the end of the club with slightly different weights and weight distribution across the head. So as long as you're happy hitting it and comfortable hitting it, just go and hit a few and if you like them, buy them. And that brings me on to the last point, which is price. Now, these cost me for a set. It was pitching wedge to 4-iron. It was £980, which is a lot of money, but I rarely spend that much money on clubs. I bought my previous irons on the internet without ever hitting them for 350 quid for a full set. So in comparison, they're just over twice the price, but it's been 100% worth it for me. So I'd say if you're looking to buy any, go to American Golf, link up there to watch that video of mine, do a custom fitting. I don't think there's any obligation to actually buy the clubs afterwards. Hit whatever you want. If you want to hit irons, you only hit a 7-iron, which is what I've got here. So they test out a few heads, a few shafts, get fitted for a full set because it will prove your game no end. And yeah, so I hope that helps. That was just my opinion. I realised I haven't really said much about them since I bought them, apart from using them. But yeah, overall, if you're looking at buying a set, I would highly recommend these, definitely. But there were others that I hit Callaway, I think it's some Titleist as well. The main thing, I just like the look of these, and they're the ones I first saw, and I was hitting them the best. So yeah, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.